Hi, it's Sandra from Savvy Teaching Tips, and today I'm going to talk about how I teach addition with regrouping for two-digit numbers. But before we get to that, if you like my videos, please like and subscribe below and ring that bell so you'll get notifications of all my upcoming videos when they come out. So in order to really explain this more carefully, I've produced a digital version of how I do this because it's easier for you to see what I'm going to be doing with the money, because I like to use money when I introduce addition with regrouping. So what you need to do is you need to go to the bank and you need to get some rolls of dimes and some rolls of pennies. And you know, when I started teaching, 10 cents could buy stuff at the corner store. Well, doesn't really buy much anymore. So money is not as likely to end up in the pockets of kids these days. But sometimes you lose a little bit of money when you do this, but not enough to ever really worry about it. And then I also have a little activity where I place on my desk a little dish called Bits and Pieces, which I got from Target. So if the kids ever find money on the floor, they don't have to come up and bother me and go, look, I found a penny. I'll just say, you know, if I have to talk to them, I'll say Bits and Pieces. But if they find it. And then at the end of the day, I can go over there to Bits and Pieces and put that money back in the tubs that I keep it in. But anyway, so let's get on to how I teach addition with regrouping with money. We're going to talk about addition with regrouping. And I apologize if this sounds a little bit different, but I'm using a different microphone to do this today, so bear with me. This is an image or a slide that I would put up on the smartboard and use this to teach. So over here I've got my bank and it's got dimes and pennies in it. And over here I've got my tens and ones chart, but it's blank. So this is what I call ready position. I do this lesson with chalkboards. So what I would do before I even put this up on the screen is I would give the kids chalkboards and give them 5 minutes to draw on it, then tell them to erase it and come to the carpet, leave the chalkboards on their desks. They're now on the carpet and we're going to go over tens and ones charts, and then I'm going to demonstrate how to draw this on one of my little chalkboards, and then I send them back to their desk and they draw the blank tens and ones chart. And now I'm going to show them how we're going to use this. I'm going to write a question on here, and I'm going to start with addition that does not require regrouping so that the kids are learning about we always add the ones column before the tens column. So let's write a question down. Okay, so the question that we wrote down is 41 plus 17, and I made sure that I drew my plus sign because this is a plus question. We're going to put the money on top of the numbers. The one side, what kind of money do you think goes on the one side? Well, the one with the 1 on it. So on this side goes the pennies, and on this side goes the dimes, and you never put you never put pennies on this side, you never put dimes on this side. So I've got 1 penny here and 7 pennies here, and now on this side I need dimes. Okay, so we have our pennies, we have our dimes. Now we are going to add them up. In order to add them up, we always start on the one side first. So we've brought all our ones down. Now we're going to count them. And some kids struggle with counting in the beginning of grade 2 or second grade. So we're going to move these over. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so how many coins do we have on the side? We counted them. We have 8. So we're going to write the number 8. Okay, now let's do the other side. Bring them down. And this is why I like to use chalkboards, because with a mini whiteboard, when they slide the money down, sometimes they take out all the writing. The chalkboard's a little more durable that way. Anyway, let's count these. 5. We got 5 dimes, so we're going to write a number 5. So 41 plus 17 is 58, and we have 58 cents here. So I'd send the kids back to their desks to do this by themselves. And I would only do this one day. So the next day we're going to start another lesson, and we're going to try this with the chalkboards and everything again. But this time we're going to do it in partners. So just let me get this set up, and then we'll start in on the partners. So here we are in ready position, and now it's a new day. We're starting a new lesson. We're going to try this with partners today. So we have our bank of money, and the banker is the person who handles the money in the bank. And on the other side, we have the writer, and the writer will have the chalkboard and the chalk and the chalk brush. So the writer sets the board up with the tens and ones, and once they've done that and the banker has the money on their side, then I would ask those kids to come to the carpet. So now we're all on the carpet. Nobody's touching any of the toys. I'm going to write a question on the board. Okay, so here's my question. 19 plus 23. The writer needs the money. The banker counts the money. So what the writer will say is, I need to do 19 first. So, and I really try to get the kids to do this number as 19 because sometimes they see it this way, like 93 and 12. And so I really do the numbers at the top first and then the numbers underneath them. The writer will say to the banker, I need 9 pennies. So the banker will count out 9 pennies into their hand and give them to the writer, who will put them on the board. Then the writer will ask the banker for 1 dime to put on the ones place. And then let's do the next number, 23. Well, we need 2 dimes. We need 3 pennies. So I've got all my money. So the banker has given the writer the money when they've asked for it, and the writer has put the money on the board because the writer is the person who touches everything around the board. The banker is the one who touches the bank. Now what do we do? Now, by this point, I've asked the kids to come back to the carpet to watch me on the board. So now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to slide the ones down. We always start on this side first. Remember when we did this before without regrouping, we did it on the one side. So let's slide those pennies down. So as I slid those down, I realized I have 12. Can I write the number 12 down here with the 1 and the 2 from 12? No, I can't, because it's bigger than 10, and 10 goes in the 10 side. So we need to take 10 pennies and turn them into a dime. The writer counts 10 pennies into their hand. Here's 10 pennies. They are in the hand of the writer, and the writer will say to the banker, can I trade this for a dime? So the banker gets out the dime and they have a swap. So the banker has put the 10 pennies back into the bank, and here's the dime. Where does the dime go? And this is something that's kind of tricky to the kids. Where do we put the dime? Well, this extra dime goes up here over the tens. It always goes up here. It doesn't come down in here. It's up here. We also need to write a number 1 because we have a 1 for this 1 dime. We have a 2 for these 2 dimes. We need a number. So there is a 1. Okay, so we have now added up the ones column. Let's add up the tens column. We have slid all the dimes down. How many do we have? We have 4 dimes. How many pennies do we have? We have 2 pennies. So there you go. Addition with regrouping with money. So how I would run this with the whole class is we would go through it with one person being the writer and one person being the banker, and then they trade jobs, and then the other person becomes the writer and the other person becomes the banker, and we just trade back and forth. That way each kid gets equal time writing down and equal time with the money. And another thing to do is, if you can manipulate the partners, put a very capable child with one who's struggling, because the capable child will be able to help with the counting, with what goes next, and you don't have to be standing there helping them. You know, you can do this until they get restless. You can do this for 10 minutes. You can do this for half an hour. Once they've done this multiple times, then I would, the next day we'll do another lesson, and this time we're going to do it individually. And then I would write questions on the board, and I give them letters. So I'll put A, B, C, D, E, and A is the first question, B is the second question, so they don't mix the numbers up with the questions. I'll get them to work at their desks independently, and So I've written all these questions on the board, and as they finish the question, they put their hand up, and I can quickly tell you if it's accurate or not. If it's accurate, I'll say, great, do the next question. And if it's not accurate, I'll say, oh, you need to try that again. Count your money again. Go back and try that again. Something's not right. Do that for 10 or 15 minutes. And then that's how I kind of dismiss them at the end. If the kids get through all the questions, well, now it's time to clean up. So they'll clean up their chalkboard and their money, get ready for lunch, out they go, or line up at the door. And then once we've got a number of kids lined up and the time is ticking, then I'll just tell the other kids who are not finished all the questions this is your last question, and then you get to clean up and go from there. So anyway, this is the way I've always taught addition with regrouping. It's an easy way to do it. The kids love to use the money, and I highly recommend trying this. So that's it. Addition with regrouping is the old way of teaching math with two-digit numbers, addition with two-digit numbers. But remember, like I've said in previous videos, I find it really important to teach this as well as the newer methods, partial sums and things like that, because I think that the kids in their lives, like at home, the parents know regrouping, so that's what they're going to teach the kids. So we need to help with the understanding of the concepts behind being able to go through the motions and fill out the test, to fill in the answers. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that, and if you don't forget to check out my Facebook and my Instagram at Savvy Teaching Tips, and my TikTok at Savvy Teaching. That's all for now. Bye.